Alright, I'm going to talk about Shagbark Hickory today, just because I like it. Angel's not with me right now. She was, but there's some problems with dogs off the leash, so I had to take her back. I'll take her back here later on. Anyway, I won't get into that issue. Shagbark Hickory, I'll show you how to identify it and all the cool things about it. So, shagbark, easiest way to identify it is the bark. Shaggy, shagbark. It's like exfoliating. It's like your skin falling off, dry skin. It's like the same thing with a birch bark tree. It exfoliates. And yeah, so shagbark. It's kind of odd that it's here. Well, maybe not. I live near Kingston, which is southeastern Ontario. This to me is more of a southwestern Ontario, the Carolina forest near Lake Erie, and off to the south in the United States. But it's here as well. It just popped up, kind of cool. But this is a very diverse area. This is the Frontenac axis, and First Nations call it the spine of the earth because of the diversity of all the forests around here. So no surprises here. Kind of cool. Shagbark, shaggy. Now you can also identify it. These are dead leaves, whatever, but I think it's called pinnate leaf. So this is a leaflet. So that is one leaf, and it has 3 to 7 leaves to the leaflet. And this one generally has 5 though. Like it has 3 to 7, but generally has 5. Meaning there's 2 small ones. We're missing one right here. 2 small ones, and then the main leaf off the leaflet is larger. Okay, so again, it can have 3 to 7, but usually 5. So here's one that has 3. Okay. Now, not the greatest to identify it now because they're dead on the ground, but in the summertime you can identify it by that. But really, shagbark, easy. You don't even have to look at the leaf, okay? The other are the nuts. Let's gather some here. Okay, so here is the nut in the husk, okay? And here is the nut, see that there? Without the husk, okay? These are edible. And I think they're part of the pecan family, but to me they taste like a pecan, like a really sweet taste to it. The problem with collecting them, especially harvesting them for commercial use, is that they're sporadic. They really don't even get the nuts on the tree until their 10th year, and they really peak at their 40th year, up to the 100th year. So it takes a long time for them to mature enough to even get the nuts to drop. The other thing too is they're very sporadic in when they have the nuts. It's every like 7 years, whatever. They have a big huge harvest, and other years they won't. So it's really not worth it. Squirrels love it though, and deer love it. The problem with these two is that the husk is really tough, but the shell itself is really hard. Like you have to smash this with a hammer or even an axe. Now the First Nations people, and people still do this today, they would take this whole thing, not the husk, they'd take the husk off, take this whole thing and smash it all up in a big container, whether a hollow log, whatever, and then mix water with it, and maybe sometimes sugar. Well, they wouldn't do it with sugar then, but then it creates a hickory milk, and it was well liked by First Nations people. And you can do this at your home. You don't have to smash it. You just put it in a blender and blend a whole bunch of these nuts together, and you can make that milk, which is really quite tasty actually. But since it's the spring, I don't think I'm going to find any good nuts here at all, because I think the squirrels harvested most of them. Now you can tell right now this is no good at all because it's got a hole in it, so it's got a larvae in it. And once they actually get rotted, they could contain a gas actually, so they don't taste good anyway. So you don't want to eat it. If it floats, don't eat it. Something's wrong with it. If it sinks, then it's edible. So here we go. Yeah, see it floating right there? There it goes. There we go. Let me see if there's any here that are edible. Squirrels really had a good time here. All right, let's put 2 more in here, see what happens. No, I'm not going to find any that I can actually eat. Sorry, but yeah, smash them with a hammer or an axe, butt end of an axe, and eat them like pecans. Okay, the other, to identify them, the young shagbark, like under 10 or even under 5 years old, does not have the shag bark. It has a smooth bark. So you're like, so you either have to look at the leaf. There's no young around here, I gotta find one. But the bud has a big bud full of scales, like fat scales. and very stunted as well. So either I can find one or I get a picture of one to show you. So you can identify in the wintertime by that if it's a young one. So yeah, so they don't get their nuts again until they're 10 years old, and they don't prime until they're 40 years old. All right, the other is really cool. You can make hickory syrup. And I'm not talking about maple syrup, and right now everybody's making maple syrup. So what maple syrup is, just to refresh for you, is that in the fall, like we talked about it, deciduous tree has full of water and sugar, and if it stays in the trunk in the wintertime, it will freeze, expand, and crack the tree. So it goes down into the root system, and that's why the leaves fall, right? So it stays in the root cellar. And then right now, well, actually a few weeks before now, it started coming up through the root system because spring has sprung, okay? So cold nights, warm days, all of a sudden it triggers. And so the sap is coming up the tree. So what people do is they make maple syrup. So in a maple tree, if you tap it and then get some of that sap out of it, some of that blood enrichment coming out of it, is really sweet tasting. Just in the bucket itself, you just taste it, it's like sweet water. But if you boil it, that means you're boiling off the water into vapor. You're going to have more sugar. So that's created maple syrup. Hickory sap is not that. Okay, you could tap that. You can tap a whole bunch of trees. I've had birch sap before. Even maple syrup. A sugar maple is a better maple syrup to have than red maple. Red maple has less sugar. Takes more time to boil off and doesn't taste as sweet. But yeah, maple are usually the general ones. But all deciduous trees have this water coming up through their veins, right, in the springtime. So you could tap this if you want. I've never tried that. But hickory sap is not that. Wow! Okay, just had a merlin fly by me and go after a mourning dove. I wish I got that on camera. Anyway, so yeah, you can make hickory syrup. So I'm a squirrel! And you can make hickory syrup. So what you do for this is you don't tap it. You actually take some of this outer bark. Now, when you do this, do it properly, okay? If you're harvesting anything, do it properly. You don't want to strip the entire bark off. One reason why is that bats use this again to roost in, so you don't want to ruin that habitat. Bats are amazing; they eat thousands of mosquitoes, right? But you could take some of it like this. So you take a piece like that, and that's not going to really do much bad to the tree. It's exfoliating, so it's almost like your skin falling off. So you can harvest some of that. So just smell it. Oh, it smells so good. A lot of people use this also, even the wood itself, to smoke meat and fish with. It really smells amazing. The wood itself, sorry, I should have mentioned, is very dense, very, very strong. So a lot of people use it to make bows, but also axe handles are used for that. It can take the banging of it. Drumsticks are used from hickory wood. And in the old days, plows were used for it. It's a really sturdy wood. Anyway, I'm just exfoliating some little bark here. Like that. Again, not peeling it right off, just taking some of it. That's a really good piece. All right, that's all I'm going to take. So we're going to try this at home, and it's a timely process, but it's nothing like maple syrup. It's hickory sap, hickory syrup. People make it and sell it, yeah, I'll show you how to make it. Right. Okay, I brought my Shagbark Hickory bark home. Christine, I'm making some hickory syrup.
That sounds good, Kevin.
Okay. So the first thing you want to do, if you look at it, it's got a bit of lichen on it, maybe some spider webs, maybe even some dead bugs. So you want to get those off. Oh, that's full of water. I like to put it in something. Wait a minute, I gotta get something to put it in. Oh no, I'll just do it in the sink. Okay, can I do that in the sink? Scrub it? Okay, alright. So I don't have a scrubber. I couldn't find the barbecue scrubber, that'd be good. I think we tossed it in the fall because it was nasty. Yeah? So I also have the sandpaper, so why not just use the sandpaper and get all that dirt off? It's not that bad actually, because I'm using the outer part that were falling off the tree anyway, so I didn't get the stuff that would have insects living in it and everything. And I'm gonna soak this in here for about 30 minutes. Oh yeah, there's a bit of a cocoon of something was in there. But it hatched, so I didn't kill anything. Like it on this one. Yeah, so this is what I'm going to do for a bit. I'm going to scrub it all off, clean it, and I'm going to soak it in water for a good 30 minutes. Then you'll see what's next. Okay, it's soaked for a good 40 minutes actually. And now I'm going to place it on a cookie sheet. And I'm going to bake it at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. And you'll smell it. Well, you won't smell it. I'll smell it. It smells really good. There we go. On a cookie sheet. And I'm going to put it in the oven at 350 for about 20 minutes. Maybe a little longer, it all depends. I just want to dry it all out. I preheated the oven at 350. Oh, it hasn't. Oh, what happened? No, Kevin! Oh, I pushed this. Oh, all right. I'm a professional. I push stop instead of start. Now I have to preheat it and put it at 350 for 20 minutes. Right. Okay, it's been in there a little bit longer than 20 minutes. And you just smell it. It smells beautiful. So it should be nice and dry. Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Really dry. In fact, don't keep it in there too long, it might ignite. I don't know if it will or not, but. And then what you do is you, I should have put them in smaller pieces. I should have taught myself how to use this. Here. I'm going to put them in water to boil. Watch it, it's hot. I'm going to put this to a boil first, and then let it simmer for about 30 minutes. I think you should put these into smaller pieces. No problems, just solutions. You're always learning something, right? Okay, so make sure they're all covered in water. And I'm going to put this to boil and then simmer for 30 minutes. Or around 30 minutes. Right. Okay, it's simmered for 30 minutes, actually a little bit longer. Look at the difference in color. Look at that. Oh, there's the alarm for... Wait a minute, you gotta turn the alarm off. Oh. Turn that off. And look at the color difference. Look at that. But you need to strain all the bark bits and stuff like that. So I'm going to use a regular strainer, like this, oh, like that. If you want, you could put a coffee. Oh, it's kind of cool. Now I know where stuff is around here. I've been here for a few months. You could put a coffee filter in there to really get rid of bits. I don't think I need that. So let's just do this. And look at the gold. The gold. Oh, yeah. Now, you could throw these out. I would never throw these out. I would use the bark bits to put in your barbecue when you're cooking stuff. I would use them to even bring camping with you and put them in the fire. Just smell good because they smell amazing. Don't throw those out. Now, this is actually what's called Hickory Tea. You can use this as a tea. It tastes really good. It tastes really good, actually. What I would like to do, this is all new to me. I'm trying new things, right? What you could do, and I would really love to do, is put this in other things. Like if you're making your pancakes, or I would make bannock, and then put that, instead of water to make your bannock, I would use this hickory tea to mix in with the bannock. Imagine what the bannock would taste like that. I'm going to try that. All right, I'm going to put that in here for now. Oh, look at that. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean the pot out, the boiling pot, and then I'm going to do another boil. And I'll tell you what that's all about when we get to that stage. You know what? No, I'm doing a coffee filter strainer. Yeah, I am. Hold on. There's a lot of grits in there. Marcus in there. Oh, count. Right. That's hot. Okay. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. There's lots of more grits in there than you think. So there's some grits in there. Okay, more than I would like. So I'm going to use the coffee strainer. take a while. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I gotta put what we call hickory tea back in the boil to make it into a syrup. Okay, so again, tea, really nice, syrup, really, really nice. There's a lot of sugar involved in this. So every amount of hickory tea, I have to put a cup of sugar. So a cup of hickory tea, cup of sugar, and that and so forth. I'm going to measure that in a second. That's a lot of sugar. So if you don't want to do that, do natural sugars like cane sugar and stuff like that. Don't do honey and stuff like that, because the honey will just mess it up and it'll taste like honey, not hickory. And the other thing, if you use sugar and you don't stir it properly and don't wash it while you're doing it, and I can't measure it yet. It's supposed to be like 220 degrees with a thermometer boiling point, and then it won't crystallize. I don't have one of those, so I don't know if that's going to crystallize or not. It's like when you have honey and it's go in the fridge or it sits here for a while, it goes all gummy and crystallized. You just boil that back up again, or just heat it all up and it'll decrystallize, whatever. But if you don't want it to do that, you could put the sugar in the middle and stir it with a whisk, so make sure the crystals or sugar doesn't go around the area of the pot. I've read about that. I don't know how you're going to do it. Or you could use cornstarch. Not cornstarch. Oh no, what is it called? Hold on. Corn syrup. If you use corn syrup instead of sugar, then it won't crystallize. You can do that. I don't have corn starch. Or corn syrup. I don't have corn syrup. So I'm just going to do the sugar thing. It's a lot of sugar. When Christine left today, she goes, "What are you really doing?" "I'm making hickory syrup." And she goes, "Okay, so if you're doing a lot of sugar and boiling sugar, just watch it, because that could burn everything." Okay, so she's away. I don't want to mess things up. So let's measure this. How much do I have? All right, that's 4 cups. And then I got a little bit extra. I don't want to waste this. Oh, great. Spill it up. I got, oh my gosh, almost 4 cups. 3 cups, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whoa! I know I live here now. I know it's our place, but she's going to kill me. She's going to give me one again. Oh, what did I say? 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 cups of this. That means 7 cups of sugar. That's a lot of sugar, man. Holy jumping. Really? You don't have to do that? Alright. Yeah, that's a lot of sugar. I did the corn syrup for sure. Now, do you really need to add that much sugar? You don't have to. I mean, I tried it as a tea just while we're filling around here, and I'm not going to add that much sugar. That's way too much sugar. Alright, so I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to boil it to a boil, but really cautiously wash it, because when it turns into a boil, I do know about sugar. If you boil sugar and it overboils, it'll just make a terrible mess. So we're going to just a little bit of boil and then turn it into a simmer. I'm going to simmer this for another, I think, 20 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, but I'll see the color change. I'll see how it thickens. Okay, and once I like that, that's when I'll decide it's over with. So I'm going to put this just almost to a boil and then simmer for 20, maybe 30 minutes. I'm going to give maybe 20. I don't know. We'll see how thick it comes, and then we'll come back to you. This will taste smoky. I've had it before. It really tastes smoky. Really nice and sweet smoke is really good. But if you want to increase that, you actually, before this process, so we put the sugar in and the hickory tea in, just boil the hickory tea longer and reduce the amount of water in that part of it, so you'll have more hickory taste. It's just that sort of give a practice. Try this more than once, more than twice, more than 3 times a lady. Okay. You know what? The sugar is already dissolved, so you can't see how much sugar you put in. The dentist wouldn't know how much sugar you put in there. You can use this for just on your pancakes, your waffles, or skip to the other one. Or what I would love to do, and I'm going to try in a minute here once it cools down, is put it in a cocktail. I'm going to put it in some cheap blend of scotch. The whole idea when I was reading about this, I went, oh, that'd be really good. But I mean, really good scotch, I would have it on its own. I wouldn't put it with anything. Maybe a little bit of water. But, oh man, imagine being on a canoe trip. Bring some of this along. So these jars I'm using are old spaghetti jars. I'll just show you. It's what brand is it? That brand. And these are old jars. And have you noticed that these jars now are smaller and the contents are smaller? Don't go there, Kevin. Okay. Just concentrate. Look at that. So yeah, you can put them in mason jars and do the whole mason jar thing by putting in boiling water and then letting them sit and making sure that there's a breathe hole so they won't explode. But I'm just doing this because I'm gonna have this in the next couple of weeks. Oh, just the smell alone is just worth doing all this work. But if you do this, make sure you do it properly. The bark I took was going to fall off the ground anyway. It was like your skin falling off, your dry skin. So yeah, don't peel off the bark. There's little organisms and bats and stuff like that live in there. So don't do that. Just the outer bark that's going to fall off anyway. Boil it down and make a delicious treat with it. Man, nature's amazing. The idea that you can actually boil a bark down and make this treat, that's awesome. Oh, yeah. Well, that was a day. So yeah, you can put this hickory syrup on your waffles, your pancakes, or you actually could even lather on your pork or your beef or whatever on your barbecue. That'd be really cool. Really cool. I haven't tried that yet. Or you can make a drink. And it's Friday. Christine is now home from her shopping. Hello! Hello! Christine, you were gone all day and I did a video.
Okay.
I made some hickory syrup.
The video that you started when I was still here?
Yeah, that was long. It took a while. All right. So what do you think? You smell it?
Kind of, sort of. Smells like wood.
And I'm going to try this. So, there we go. Monkey shoulder, which is a really good blend. One of my favorite blends of whiskey from Scotland. Add in there. It's a wee dram. And then get a wee dram of this. Let it cool a bit. Maybe not enough. Ooh. 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 Oh. There we go. Christine, I'm making a Shagbark Hickory cocktail.
It looks good, Kevin.
Yeah? All right. Oh, that's amazing. No, seriously, it is. Like, seriously, I'm not talking that's kind of good. It's really good. Give it a try. Hey, you came home and like, what has Kevin been doing? I just went out for the day and come back and it smells like
Trees.
hickory. It smells like trees and there's whiskey on the table and what's going on? No, give it a try, seriously. All right, here we go. All right, give it a try.
Smells like whiskey.
But.
Oh, whiskey, but better.
Yeah.
That is good,
No,
Kevin.
give me the whiskey back.
That is good.
Don't say whiskey,
I could
but
drink that.
That's really good. But don't say whiskey, but better. No, never say that. Well, I'm kind of sticking to the table. I spilled a bit. But really good. Shagbark Hickory syrup. And I made a cocktail with actually monkey shoulder. Or you can put it in your pancakes or waffles, or you can put it on your pork or whatever meat you're doing on the barbecue. It'd be really good. I'm so glad I did this today. Yeah, it was a good day. Cheers. I can't even pick the glass up. It's all syrupy. I spilled everything. But it was good, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Oh, there's a bug in there.